Montu is perhaps the best Bolliger and Maillard invert in North America. This coaster is truly a full package and a must ride. It is located at Busch Gardens Tampa, stands 150 feet tall, has nearly 4,000 feet of track, reaches a top speed of 60 miles per hour, and has 7 inversions. This coaster delivers a great action-packed ride experience and some of the coolest theming on any roller coaster. This is our full-length, in-depth review of Montu and our comments about what you can expect when you go to Busch Gardens Tampa to ride this coaster. Now, let's meet the Egyptian god of war, Montu. When you first get to Busch Gardens Tampa, you will see a skyline packed with coasters. One of those coasters has blue track and yellow supports located right at the front of the park, Montu. In fact, Montu will be the first coaster you will see as you drive into the parking lot. Montu is located in the Egypt section of the park on the farthest right-hand side of the park. While it is located towards the front of the park, Montu is a hike to get to, as you have to walk past 2 of the park's other roller coasters, Cheetah Hunt and Cobra's Curse, just to get to the ride. While it is a hike to get to, Montu rewards guests with some of the most elaborate theming on any roller coaster that's not at a Universal or Disney park. As you approach the ride, you will see massive Egyptian structures covered in hieroglyphs. On the other side of that structure, you enter a large plaza. There, you will see one of Montu's trains flying through one of its many inversions. As you make your way to the queue entrance, you will not see a large ride sign or marquee displaying the ride name or logo. Rather, you encounter mostly Egyptian theming, and this theming looks awesome as it looks like worn Egyptian ruins. You then take a left through a turnstile into the station where you will see more Egyptian theming and one of Montu's 3 8-car, 32-passenger trains. And as a 1990s Bolliger and Maillard invert, Montu has the traditional invert trains and over-the-shoulder restraints. And these trains have light Egyptian theming, especially on the front car. Once you have boarded your train, secured your over-the-shoulder restraints, and cleared dispatch, the station gate will drop forward, the floor will retract, and you take a right-hand turn out of the station towards the lift hill to start your ride. At the top of the lift hill, you enter a short pre-drop before taking a turning left-hand turn down Montu's 128-foot first drop sloped at 50 degrees. At the bottom of the first drop, you pull up into a vertical loop, which pulls some great positive G-forces and delivers some good whip for those sitting towards the back of the train. Out of the vertical loop, you dive into a tunnel and climb up into an Immelman, which has some good whip towards the back of the train. As you come off that Immelman, you take a right-hand banked turn before climbing up into a 0G roll. This 0G roll delivers great whip regardless of where you are sitting on the train, though it shines just a little more towards the front of the train. You then enter a short section of straight track and over a trim brake before whipping towards the left down into a trench into the first half of Montu's Batwing. If you are sitting in an edge seat in the back row, you get yanked into the first half of this element. As you reach the bottom of the Batwing, you feel all of Montu's positive Gs at the bottom of the element before entering another half loop and whipping towards the left out of the second half of Montu's Batwing. You climb up into the mid-course brake run, which barely slows you down, before diving towards the right into another trench and up into another vertical loop. This loop has similar whip as that on the first loop. As you come out of that vertical loop, you enter a right-hand banked turnaround, followed by a slight airtime moment. This moment gives an ever so slight pop of floater airtime if you are sitting towards the front of the train. You then enter a left-hand banked turn down into another trench, followed by one final inversion, a corkscrew, from one trench into another. Out of that corkscrew, you take one final right-hand banked turn up into the final brake run, thus completing your ride. Montu is one of the best Bolliger and Maillard inverts in the world. It has incredible theming, great pacing, strong forces, and fast operations. From when you leave the lift hill to when you reach the final brake run, Montu is just one element after another. Its most intense element is the Batwing, which delivers the ride's strongest positive G-forces. The bottom of that Batwing in the trench is insane. If you have done afterburn at Carowinds, the Batwing hits similarly, though Montu's Batwing hits much more forcefully. The closest thing the bottom of Montu's Batwing feels like is the bottom of Banshee's pretzel knot. You will feel the forces in your feet, especially if you are sitting towards the back of the train. And that's where Montu shines. A back row ride on Montu is awesome. You get whipped coming off of the vertical loops in Immelman, you get yanked into the Batwing during the first half, and you feel the positive G-forces in every valley. While the 0G roll, climb into the mid-course brake run, and that brief airtime pop before the turn into the second to last trench are better in the front, the back row is the best way to experience Montu. Aside from the ride experience, Montu is a spectacle to watch. When you reach Montu's Plaza, you cannot help but get pumped to ride the coaster. And that is if you could stop looking at the ride's theming. If you are a fan of Egyptology or Egyptian architecture, Montu genuinely looks like you are walking around Abu Simbel or Ptolemaic Egypt. Montu also has incredibly fast operations. This ride rarely has more than a 45-minute wait, which is great to see. One last comment about Montu is that it is still quite smooth, which makes the rapid-fire ride experience all the better. If you are a fan of good roller coasters, look no further than Montu. This ride is awesome, and it is perhaps the best invert in North America. Overall, Montu is a shining example of how to do a Bollinger and Maillard invert. It is everything that makes the ride model so good. Whippy inversions, strong positive G-forces, 1 or 2 subtle airtime pops, great pacing, and awesome theming. The fact that this coaster dives in and out of trenches only enhances the ride experience. For our final score, we give Montu a 9 out of 10. Busch Gardens Tampa would not nearly be the same without this amazing coaster. So, let us know in the comments below if you have ridden Montu at Busch Gardens Tampa, and if so, what you think about it. And if you enjoyed this video or are new to the channel, please like and subscribe for more coaster content like this. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more coaster reviews and amusement park content coming soon to Coaster Adventures, and we hope to see you in the next one.